Coach Mike Norvell, champions of the West Division. We'll take an opening statement from Coach Norvell and then open up to questions, please.
Obviously, we're excited to be back in the American Conference Championship game. This has been a great year. Really pleased with our football team and the development that we've seen throughout the year. The maturity that we've shown. I think this is a team that is definitely grown from week one to where we are now. We faced some adversity, had some key players that went down, missed extensive time throughout this year, and but it provided an opportunity for new faces in this group to really showcase the heart and the character that they have. Being able to host the conference championship is something that's big, not only for our program, but for this city. We're looking forward to the matchup. It is definitely unique coming off back-to-back weeks playing the same opponent, but it just reiterated the respect that we have for the Cincinnati program, the talent that they have, and we know it's going to be one heck of a matchup here tomorrow. Proud of our team. It's something special to be here once again, 3 straight years in a row representing the West Division. It's a feat in itself, but we're looking forward to tomorrow, hopefully doing the things necessary to find a way to be successful in accomplishing our goal and our objective to be American Conference champion.
Questions? Raise your hand, please. Put the microphone to you.
Isaac Simpson, Tiger Sports Report. Coach, when looking at this through a wide-angle lens, when you reflect back on your time here, this 3rd straight AAC West Championship, game day, 11-1, all the things that you built here, you kind of give some words when you look back on everything that's been accomplished and what you guys have built.
It's been a special journey, and from the first day that I got the job to where we've been able to build and progress to, there's been so many highlights, and this year has probably been the most rewarding of all of them, just with the circumstances that have kind of shown up. Looking at our football team and staff, we had to replace all 3 coordinators. We lost a couple of outstanding playmakers, All-Americans, to the NFL draft early. We've had to overcome, like I mentioned, in the opening statement, some of the injuries and just all the different circumstances. But this team has shown, just the heart, the character that they have, the work that they put into it since January. Some of the new faces really have come in and done remarkable things for us. I think we've recruited at a high level, and it's been special. And not only what we've been able to do on the field, but the impact we've been able to make off of it. To look back at that game day experience and that weekend, that's something I'll never forget. That was special for the city of Memphis. Being able to host game day, to feel the energy and the excitement, and everybody coming together to celebrate this football program and celebrate the city as a whole. But then to walk on that field that Saturday night, to see 59,000 people dressed in blue, that was probably a pipe dream for much of our history. There's been sellouts before, but I don't know if there's ever been a sellout that has looked like that, where it's been all about Memphis, and to be a part of it, it's been a tremendous honor, and to coach the young men that I get to coach, to impact a community, something bigger than just a football team. It's been special, and now to host the conference championship, it's all part of our progression as a program, and we're definitely looking forward to taking that next step.
Anthony Robinson with WeDon'tBluff.net. Coach, how are you getting your players mentally prepared to play a game against a back-to-back opponent that they won, and keep them focused to not think that it's just going to be a guarantee?
Coming off last week, it is a challenge. It's a challenge to play opponent back-to-back. You learn things about the personnel, the different matchups schematically. But the thing that came out of last week was a great respect of our opponent, and that was a game that a handful of plays go the opposite way, and it could have been a much different outcome. And for us, our focus this week has been the same that it's been since January. It's been about ourselves. It really hasn't mattered who we played throughout this season, whether it was open the season versus an SEC opponent or a nationally ranked opponent or primetime game. It's really always been about us and our growth and our development, as a team and as individuals, as coaches, and that's what our focus has truly been on each and every day, and that's what the message was once again this week. I was really proud of how our guys prepared, and we're looking forward to this game. I mean, it's special. You get to play in a championship game. It's something that you should be commended for and be proud of. But we didn't sign up just to get here. We want to come and we want to put ourselves in the best position to be successful. And if we play to the best of our ability, I'll be able to live with whatever outcome shows up.
Hey, Mike. Fletcher Page, Cincinnati Enquirer. You faced Ben Bryant last week. I'm sure you've seen plenty of film of Desmond Ridder. Has it been a challenge to prepare for both of those guys, and does Cincinnati's offense change any depending on who's in there?
Well, to be honest with you, the last 2 weeks we've been preparing for Desmond Ridder, so we expected him to play last week. With Bryant playing, it was an impressive performance. For a young guy with the talent that he has in a big stage in a big game. I thought he did a lot of great things, and so we know we expect Ridder to play tomorrow. That's what we prepared for this week. Obviously, if Bryant does play, we'll adapt and adjust to that. But it shows the talent and the depth that they have within their program, and our guys fully understand and respect that.
Coach, over here, Megan Rice, News Channel 3. Obviously, this being your guys' third time through, have you been able to tell a difference between your team or yourself, and just this time around? How was it different?
Probably not so much just within the week, but in the season. I think in this offseason, I spent a lot of time looking back at the championship games over the last couple of years, and we'd had leads in both of those games, and you obviously lost those late on the road. You really succumbed to momentum swings and things that were disappointing for me and the program. And so we tried to plan everything from January building forward to prepare for this moment. And there was a lot of things that showed up through the season, how we responded to within games, how we were able to finish games. Some of the adversity that showed up, and our guys always responded. And I think it's because of how we prepare, how we train, and the maturity and the character of the guys that we have. So it's really been the same focus. I mean, we are excited to be able to practice and play on championship week, but to say there's been some drastic difference, it's just been the base expectation from the first practice to this morning, which was our last regular season practice. Just trying to get better in every aspect.
Coach, Anthony again with WeDon'tBluff.net. You mentioned watching the film and you were down in the championship games. Do you think having a more mature team and some of the same players around that have been part of your program will help you deal with that a little bit better?
I think the experiences that we've been able to build upon this year. There have been games. You look at the Navy game was a prime example early in the season where we were down at halftime. Things weren't necessarily going our way, but you saw a great response. You saw a response from all three phases in that game. You can go through a variety of games. I think in our last 5, we've had times where we've played well and been behind and had to respond in each of those. And so this team it plays such great complementary football. Every phase has had to make an impact throughout this year, has had to play well at specific points in games to allow us to be victorious, and they've answered the call. And so tomorrow, we don't know what it's going to look like. I know there's going to be adjustments that were made from last week. There's going to be probably some new schemes and some new plans of attack, but it's still all going to come down to the response. And this is when you have 2 top 25 football programs going against each other. I've got a lot of respect for the coaching staff that we're competing against. I mean, it's gonna be a heavyweight bout, and we're excited that we put ourselves in this opportunity. We got to be ready for the response of whatever shows up throughout the course of the game, and that maturity, those experiences, we got to be able to rely on.
Coach Mitch Davis from Tiger Sports Report over here. Quick question for you. You talked about overcoming adversity. Your name has been mentioned. Florida State, Cotton Bowl's been mentioned. Injury, C.J. Carter this week. Talk about what is said in the locker room to keep these guys focused and to keep going on that one goal.
I mean, there's always going to be the outside noise, and there's going to be things that are always pulled to try to distract you. Our focus is on this game, on this opportunity. honestly, the last 3 years, all those same things have been talked about at various times. And so, at the end of the day, we control what we can control. And I don't have any influence on what's written, what's said on the outside. Our players, we don't have any impact on when somebody gets injured or how we have to respond. The key is the response. And all of our energy, all of our focus has been about this week, and it's going to take our personal best effort, individually and then collectively as a group to put ourselves in the best position to be successful. And we're excited about the opportunity to compete tomorrow. And other than with everything else, that hasn't got much of our attention.
Coach, can you talk a little bit about Brady White? What you thought when you first got him, and how he's played the second half of the year?
Brady's been a great quarterback for us for the last couple of years, and I think he's played at a high level. This year, I think he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country. I think you look at what he's done and how he's led this football team, the way that he's developed in the consistency of being able to push the ball down the field, making the right decisions, getting the ball out on time, protecting the football. But on the flip side, some of the best things that he does, most fans or people watching don't realize. The way that he prepares for games, the understanding, the amount of the volume of schematic checks and things that we have him looking at. That's what makes him special. And he takes a lot of ownership in our program, and it's a part of my job to make sure that we're putting him in a great position to be able to showcase all those skills. And he definitely embraces that.
Take one final question.
A really quick, Coach Jarvis, WC Memphis. The fact that when the all-conference teams came out, in 14 on all-conference, but only one regular player, 2 special teams player, off a team that went 11-1 during the season, and you not making Coach of the Year for what you've done. Is that any motivation for you? Is that any motivation for your players going into this game?
At the end of the day, you're always working to earn respect, and what you do on the field is gonna provide everybody that tunes in and everybody that you compete against a new impression. And we've had plenty of guys that have been picked on award watch list. We've had a lot of recognition of our players, our coaches, throughout the years. And like I tell our guys, you are what you see on that field come Saturday. And so I can tell you that we're going to go out and play to the best of our ability. And if that's worthy of being all conference, the individual awards are great, but we want to be conference champions. And so if we want to do that, we've got to go show it come Saturday.
Coach Norvell, thank you.
Thank you, guys.